Hi, I'm Nicola Mann from Parentline Plus and welcome to Got a Teenager TV. I'm here with parenting expert Suzie Hayman.
Hello.
Welcome, Suzie.
Hello, Nick. I'm a trustee of Parentline Plus and I'm an agony aunt. And we've been looking at our boards, haven't we, to see what has come up, the questions we've been asked. What are we going to talk about today, Nick?
We're going to talk about lone parenting or parenting on your own, and we've heard from our message boards and from the parents that call us. Parenting teenagers is difficult, and parenting teenagers on your own, that can bring completely different challenges. What would you say to lone parents who are bringing up teenagers by themselves?
Can it be extremely hard? Because it's one thing having a partner to lean on, to occasionally say, oh, go and ask your mum, go and ask your dad, or to be able to talk it through together, and to have that support and that backup. Really difficult if you're on your own. I would say number one is, if it's possible, of course you're not a lone parent, there is another parent somewhere, and if they're out of reach, if you haven't been in touch, perhaps think about why is that. Obviously if there are dangers to you or your child, you don't want to have anything to do with them. But sometimes I think it's worth thinking again about the fact that your children do have another parent, and maybe they should be pulled in to pull their weight for you to have someone to talk to talk things through, to co-parent your children, not do it actually on your own. But I think the other thing to remember always is that, again, you're not, maybe even if you're parenting on your own, you're not necessarily alone. There are lots of people around you. I think sometimes what happens is that we feel we have such a pride in doing this right. We don't want to let down our guard and appear to others as if we're failing by talking about it, asking for help, or even just sort of sharing ideas. And I think that's actually a bit of a mistake, because I think we all need help at times on so many things, but particularly parenting teenagers.
And where would you suggest a lone parent could go if they do feel isolated, or it's not something they could talk to a family member, or maybe there's no family around that they can talk to?
This is absolutely true. Well, port one, of course, is us. Put the Parentline Plus number on your fridge, write it up there. Come to Got a Teenager or come to Parentline Plus, talk to us, talk on the message boards. Lots of help and support there. But I think also think about other social networks. Online social networks, of course, sometimes you can get in touch with friends, people you used to know, through Facebook, something like that. You can use email. There are lots of ways of keeping that contact. Even if your parents and your family don't live very near, you could still text them, call them, email them. But I think also it's about looking around you at who is around you. And sometimes I think we can isolate ourselves. Again, it's back to that sort of feeling shy or feeling shame. The networks are there if we make a bit of effort. And it's things like making contact with parents of your children's friends, neighbours. Are there clubs around you that you can join? I mean, obviously, if you're working, then what about the people that you work with? It's about talking about things. It's about actually having the courage to make that first step of saying, I love my kids, but sometimes. and seeing what other people say. And you can get into a conversation with the people that you never would have expected to understand, who actually can be extremely supportive and helpful if you're prepared to talk about it.
And I suppose it's also accepting that things aren't necessarily happening because you're a lone parent.
Absolutely. Oh, particularly teenagers. All teenagers go through this stage of pulling away, of rebelling, of being difficult. It's actually a totally natural part of teenage development, of that attempt to try and learn how to stand on their own 2 feet and separate from you. They have to say, you're you and I'm different. I mean, that's actually part of it. And they can be defiant and they can be difficult. That's what it's all about. And it's nothing to do with you, and it's nothing even to do with them. They're not being awful and you're not being incompetent. It's just about being a teenager and being the parent of a teenager. And the more you talk with other people in the same situation, the more you'll find